Yo, yeah, bro. Um, yeah, do your homework. Do your homework. It's real shit, right? The family tree of the macaco, right? It's a long family tree, so you gotta study the whole thing, right? Don't be skipping no parts, right? Um, you know, very young species, right? Um, the same species, the Yurugu has went through centuries, at least 1,000 years of development and enhancement, right? Through each of the different prototypes. Uh, there's at least in total, there might be like 20 different Yurugu prototypes, maybe 20 to 30. It's crazy. But if you're just talking about the Homo branch, it's about 10. It's about yeah. You could argue more than 10, but it's about 10. Yeah, the Homo branch, right? So yeah. Um, but yeah, it's regular shit. Do your homework. Shit's serious, right? Multiple centuries of development, right? And enhancement, you know, right? Vocal box, opposable thumb, biped, right? Tools, symbolic thoughts, right? It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Almost like building a car, right? You got to put the engine. You got to put the exhaust pipe. You got to put the exterior. You got to put the battery in there. Like it's a long process building a car from scratch. You know? The Yurugu, you know, very interesting kind of organism, right? Because he's not supposed to be breathing right now. He's supposed to, he should have went extinct of, at least, you know, 50,000 years, 70 to 50,000 years ago, at least. Right? 12,000 if you want to talk that shit, but whatever. You know, like the Yurugu cheated death like 3, 4 times already. Like it's crazy. He had help. He had help. You know, right? Because the Yurugu's a gatekeeper, right? Don't forget that, right? Don't let the system fool you, right? The there are gatekeepers, right? They're not masterminds. Right? They're gatekeepers. Very devious, and sadistic, cunning, cutthroat, cold-blooded organisms, right? Complex organisms, right? Yeah, so yeah, don't let that shit fool you. Very dangerous. They cannot be underestimated. Um, Especially when their backs against the wall or when they're desperate. You know, very dangerous. They will sacrifice themselves, their children, just so they don't see you victorious. They don't see you have the upper hand. Very egotistical, very hypersexual, very jealous, etc. Um, Very young organism right, on Earth, but shit gonna heat up. You know, Kai gonna heat up. It's gonna get ugly. Um, Screams of millions. Shout out to my nigga Shinnok. For me. Um, you know, that's why you gotta keep your distance, right? Be careful with the mammals, right? Don't socialize too much. Don't get too close. No fornication, right? Don't trust them, right? No basic shit, you know. These are very dangerous meat eaters, right? Very dangerous. Be careful, okay? Uh, very, they resemble parasites, right? You gotta be careful with them. They have a lot of comparison to um, parasitic entities, the organisms. The only way the Yurugu could thrive if he keeps the Nettle buried. Right? The Yurugu cannot thrive in a natural environment. He has to thrive in a controlled environment. He has to keep the Nettle at bay, right? Buried, suppressed, restricted, um, and dormanted as possible. Right? With his head removed from his body. All right, so the Yurugu has a long goal of strength and longevity. Right? He has to elongate his life at no matter what, from every aspect. He has to elongate his life. Right? Right? Even if biology disagrees with it, he will elongate his life. Right? Um, he will find a way. Right? The Yurugu's extremely afraid of death. Extremely. But yeah, yeah, basic shit. No war. Not a war. Not a war. Not a vibes. But it's a spider web though. It's a spider web, right? The different prototypes of the Yurugu, right? Know their weapons. Know their psyche. Right? Know their agendas. Know their customs, culture. Right? So you can separate yourself from them on the psychological level and the physical level. Um, know who they answer to. Know how cold they are. Right? Know their makeup and shit like that. Uh, bipeds is dangerous. Bipeds, you know, they eat each other. If they're willing to eat each other, imagine what they'll do to you. All right. So yeah, the vibes. No great day on the way. I mean, there's another fucking